Hello and welcome to our special edition, Women of the Bible. Today we have 4 different modes going from easy to impossible. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below how much answers you got right. Let's go. Easy mode. Question 1. Who was the first woman created by God? Eve. Genesis 2 verse 22, Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. Question 2. Who was the mother of Jesus? Mary. Luke 1 verses 30 to 31, But the angel said to her, Do not be afraid, Mary, you have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus. Question 3. Who was turned into a pillar of salt for looking back at the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah? Lot's wife. Genesis 19 verse 26, But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Question 4. Who saved the spies sent by Joshua with a scarlet cord? Rahab. Joshua 2 verses 18 to 19, When we enter the land, you must tie this scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down. Question 5. Who was the mother of John the Baptist? Elizabeth. Luke 1 verse 36, Even Elizabeth your relative is going to have a child in her old age, and she who was said to be unable to conceive is in her 6th month. Time for the medium mode. Question 6. Who was the only female judge of Israel? Deborah. Judges 4 verse 4, Now Deborah, a prophet, the wife of Lapidoth, was leading Israel at that time. Question 7. Which woman became queen of Persia and saved her people from genocide? Esther. Esther 4 verse 14, For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Question 8. Who was the wife of Isaac and the mother of Jacob and Esau? Rebecca. Genesis 25 verses 21 to 23, Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife, because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebecca became pregnant. Question 9. Who was the first woman to be called a prophetess in the Bible? Miriam. Exodus 15 verse 20, Then Miriam the prophet, Aaron's sister, took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women followed her, with tambourines and dancing. Question 10. Which woman was known for her beauty and became the wife of King David after being initially married to Nabal? Abigail. 1 Samuel 25 verse 39. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, "Praise be to the Lord, who has upheld my cause against Nabal for treating me with contempt. He has kept his servant from doing wrong and has brought Nabal's wrongdoing down on his own head." Then David sent word to Abigail, asking her to become his wife. Time for the hard mode. Question 11. Who was the Moabite woman who was the great-grandmother of King David? Ruth. Ruth 4 verse 17. The women living there said, "Naomi has a son." And they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Question 12. What is the name of King Saul's daughter who loved David? Michal. 1 Samuel 18 verse 20. Now Saul's daughter Michal was in love with David, and when they told Saul about it, he was pleased. Question 13. Which woman was cured of long-term bleeding by touching the cloak of Jesus? The woman with the issue of blood, unnamed. Mark 5 verses 25 to 29. A woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had, yet instead of getting better she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, "If I just touch his clothes, I will be healed." Question 14. Who was the sister of Martha and Lazarus, known for sitting at Jesus' feet to listen to his teachings? Mary of Bethany. Luke 10 verse 39. She had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. Question 15. Who was the wife of Isaiah? The prophetess, unnamed. Isaiah 8 verse 3. Then I went to the prophetess, and she conceived and gave birth to a son. And the Lord said to me, "Name him Marshalal-Hashbaz." Time for the impossible mode. Question 16. Who was the woman that showed great faith, convincing Jesus to heal her demon-possessed daughter? The Canaanite woman, unnamed. Matthew 15 verses 22 to 28. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him, crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly." Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted. And her daughter was healed at that moment. Question 17. What was the name of Joseph's Egyptian wife, who bore him Manasseh and Ephraim? Asenath. Genesis 41 verse 45. Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zaphanath-Paneah and gave him Asenath, daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, to be his wife. And Joseph went throughout the land of Egypt. Question 18. Who was Samuel's mother, known for her heartfelt prayer for a son? Hannah. 1 Samuel 1 verses 10 to 11. In her deep anguish Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. And she made a vow, saying, Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. Question 19. Which two sisters were the wives of Jacob and competed for his affection? Leah and Rachel. Genesis 29 verses 30 to 31. Jacob lay with Rachel also, and he loved Rachel more than Leah. And he worked for Laban another 7 years. When the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he enabled her to conceive, but Rachel remained childless. Question 20. Who was Lydia in the New Testament, known for her hospitality towards Paul and his companions? Lydia was a dealer in purple cloth from Thyatira who became a believer. Acts 16 verses 14 to 15. One of those listening was a woman from the city of Thyatira named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth. She was a worshiper of God. The Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message. When she and the members of her household were baptized, she invited us to her home. If you consider me a believer in the Lord, she said, come and stay at my house. And she persuaded us. That's it. Don't forget to put your correct answers in the comments. Thanks for watching.